All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday news and notes for the Fed League Flash for this week. And got a few things I want to cover. Um, some very interesting stuff going on. First thing I want to talk about is the visa situation with some players, because there's a little bit of confusion with some people, and understandably so. Obviously, player visas is not a simple matter. I'm going to try and simplify it as much as I can, but it's still going to be in somewhat generalistic terms. Uh, but to give you an idea of why we have players like Anton Borodkin having to head back to Russia to renew his visa, um, why that happens. All right, so there are different visas that a person can get if they want to come to the United States, for different purposes. And so typically, when you talk about players that are in the NHL or the AHL, all right, they come on a P1 visa, which, again, oversimplifying things here. Basically, that is, you're coming here for business purposes, you're coming here for employment or for income, and you have to report that. Excuse me. So that is a P1 visa. Now, what makes things complicated for the FPHL and for its players is the FPHL is officially um, filed and designated as a not-for-profit organization. How they did that, I don't know. I don't agree with it, but that's a discussion that I don't want to get into right now. I just want to focus on the impact that this has on the players, and we've seen this happen. And whether you're coming from Russia uh, or Great Britain or even just Canada, uh, you've got to have a visa um, before you can actually enter into the country and play. Now, being that the FPHL is a not for profit organization, that means that you can't extend a traditional business or P1 visa to players. Now, P1 visas are good for a year. Um, the higher leagues offer that. So, if you have a player like um, let's see, Garrett Milan or Tyson Kirkby or um, Mario Cavallari, players that they get called up to the SPHL. Now the SPHL is a filed as a standard business, so players can get a P1 visa if they are in the SPHL or the ECHL. All right, but they can't get it in the Fed because in the Fed you can't declare income, and yeah, again, that's a whole nother ball of wax. But so basically, the best thing that Fed players can do if they are coming to the Fed, they're going to be in the Fed all year round, is they get what's called a B1 visa, which is only good for 6 months. Now, Anton Borodkin has been here from Russia since the 1st of October. So, he's nearing the end of the month, so he has to get back home. That's the thing. You have to get back out of the country and back to your home country before that visa actually expires. So that's why Borodkin had to go back this last weekend. His time is almost up, and by the time that he boards a plane, gets back to Russia, and then starts the procedure for renewing a visa for another 6 months, you gotta get back home. So that's why that happened. We also had that with Ludwig Fellstrom for the Port Huron Prowlers. Same situation. He had to head back to Sweden. So that's why we have those visa problems. Again, it's a perfect scenario if you get called up to a higher league, even if it's just for a weekend, because when you're up there for that weekend, you can work with the representatives of that team and say, hey, I'd like to get my P1 visa, um, you know, in the time that I'm here, and that keeps you there, for a year. And even if you get sent back down the FPHL, well, you got your visa. So, that's the scenario. So again, P1 is 12 months, B1 is 6 months. Um, it's a complicated process, and it's something that I hope that the FPHL will figure something out and work out, change their business status, because in reality the FPHL makes money. So how they get away with calling themselves not for profit, I don't know. Not my area of expertise. All right. So, I mean, cover the Fed, but I don't understand how things work with the business aspect of it at times. So, all right, let's talk about something a little more simple and a little easier to understand, and that is the playoff schedule. All right, because again, a lot of people wondered, and the league has not officially said that this is the process, but in talking a couple months ago with Sarge, the vice commissioner, and based on what's happened in past years, this is most likely what we're going to be looking at. So this is not gospel, but this is the most probable, realistic scenario for the playoffs. All right, of course, we have our 4 and 5 seeds playing a playing game. All right, you don't want to push that back too far. You don't want to push back the other rounds of the playoffs too far, because then you start to run into problems with ice availability. Certain teams like Carolina and Columbus, the ice gets pulled out at a certain time, and they can't go beyond that. All right, because don't forget, again, these teams don't own the arenas that they're playing in; they're owned by somebody else. So they're kind of in a catch-22. They basically have to make hay while the sun shines, get the games in, get them all done before that date comes where the ice is pulled out. And Columbus is one of the first arenas that pulls their ice out, and that's because the arena has things like graduation services and whatnot. So they need that floor. So they pulled the ice out. So we have our playing games. Most likely it'll be, because it's just the one game, it'll be either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. That'll be played. Of course, that'll be at the home of the 4th seed, which, of course, right now we don't know. In the Empire, it's probably going to be Watertown. In the Continental, it's going to be either Baton Rouge or Blue Ridge, most likely. But we don't know which one. So, anyway, those will be scheduled and played midweek. Then Friday through Sunday, the first round begins. All right, and that's a best of 3 series. So it's tough because there is no travel time. All right, you basically play your game, you get on your bus and go to the second game. Of course, the away team, or the lower seed, gets the first game. The better seed, the higher seed, gets games 2 and, if necessary, 3. All right, so it's tough, especially down south when the teams are more spread out. So Friday through Sunday, the 18th through the 20th, of April. That's when that first round most likely will take place. The following weekend will be uh, the division finals, the Continental and Empire division finals. Again, it will be uh, game one at the lower seed, games 2 and 3 at the higher seed. Then we get to the finals, which is slated to be a best of 5. So what has happened the last 2 years is it's been split up over 2 weekends. The first weekend, which would be May 4th and 5th, Friday and Saturday, you would have the lower of the 2 seeds that are left. They would play that first the first 2 games. Then the following weekend, Friday, Saturday, if necessary, Sunday, if necessary, it would be at the higher seed. All right, that would be May 11th through 13th. So by the 13th, the season is going to be done. All right, so that is what we're looking at. Again, this is not carved in stone. This is just the most likely probable situation. The league has yet to officially say this is our schedule, but I would highly expect them to go with something like this. All right, let's move on. Topeka, yes, they launched their website today. Just right now, this is the website, topekakansas.hockeyshift.com. They are having a name the team contest starting today. You can log into that site and offer your vote. You get one vote. All right, and you can say, I want them to be the Topeka Twisters or whatever name you pick. No, I don't think they should be called the Topeka Twisters. But anyway, I'm just using that as an example. So you can log in and you have a chance. If your name is chosen in the end, you could end up winning a jersey and the opportunity to drop the ceremonial puck at the first home game in Topeka. Of course, I'm in Pennsylvania, so don't know how that would work out, but jersey would be cool. But anyway, they have launched a site, and of course, they are official for next year, which gets into our final question. What is the Fed going to look like next year? All right, so let's talk about this. All right, we have these 12 teams are definitely going to be in the league next year and are coming back. Definitely. All right, things are established. Additionally, Topeka is definite. So there are 12 teams here, plus Topeka makes 13. Indiana is very likely. They are more likely to be in than not. So I would say odds are about 80% right now. The Indiana Sentinels are going to be a part of the league next year. So that would make 14. These 2 teams, there's a lot of questions. And right now, I'm not saying they are going to be back. I'm not saying they aren't going to be back. I'm saying that there are a lot of questions and there are a lot of problems that exist in with both the Dashers and with the Venom. All right, and I made some notes here. Dashers right now, okay. Who's running the team right now? You go to the Dashers website, it still says Barry Soskin. Barry Soskin is not with the team anymore. All right. What's their money situation? It doesn't look good, I can tell you that, but we don't know the details. Are they going to have a season ticket holder renewal? So far, they have not. So those questions remain for the Dashers. For the HC Venom, there's a lot of rumors out there. All right, there is talk about the team is going to come back to Poughkeepsie next year. There's also talk about no, they're going to be relocated to someplace completely different. There's also the question about money. I'm not going to get into it here because this is not the place or the time, but I have been given a lot of unsavory information over the last few days in regards to the Venom's financial situation. I will just say it's not good. All right. Um, but I'm not going to go into any kind of details at this point in time. All right. There's also, um, ownership and stability. Does PKB, aka Parker Muscal, remain as owner? There is there's a lot of things going on. Does the partner in the ownership group say, no, I want to go this way? Right now, we don't know. Okay, there's too many questions and we don't have the answers. I want to stress that. We don't have the answers. So, right now, they're a question mark. The Venom and the Dashers are question marks. All right. They may be back, they may not. Again, to be determined. So, that's why I said undetermined. All right. Now, also, there are other possibilities of expansion teams. I can tell you that there has been two different groups looking at different locations as far as setting up an expansion team. Uh, there's nothing concrete on this. It's just possibilities. Yes, West Virginia has been looked at. South Carolina has been looked at. Texas, but not Beaumont. A couple other sites in Texas have been looked at. And there are other sites being looked at as well. There's not a lot of details out there. So there could be another couple of teams there. It could be a scenario where um, there's a switch out, so to speak. Again, too many questions at this point. It's just all speculation. So I'm just saying these are all different possibilities. There's, again, two different parties that are looking at different sites as far as possible expansion, that they're in talks with different arenas and different cities as far as possibly bringing FPHL hockey to their location. All right. That's not going to really come out in any kind of detail until probably late in April. All right. The next thing we'll probably hear about is Indiana. All right. And then the rest of this all will kind of get sorted out. But this is the best look at next year I can give you right now. Again, 13 teams, definite. A 14th team, very probable. We don't know yet. Is there going to be future expansion in addition to the 14? We don't know. So that's what I'm giving you. I'm trying not to get too speculative and too. I don't want to go overboard on rumors. So this is the most factual approach I can give you right now. All right. So that's what we're looking at. All right, so that wraps up our news and notes segment. I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in. Now, tomorrow I'll be back on the Flash Audio Network with Power Rankings. We only have 3 more weeks left. We're recapping week 26 in Power Rankings tomorrow, and then two more weeks, and then we get in the playoffs. So there we go. All right, I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. Again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, to Facebook, Fed League Flash, and to the Flash Audio Network as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you again very soon. Have a great day.